Facebook and Instagram ads is a great way to get in front of people that didn't know that you or your services previously existed. But if you're running those ads to the wrong audience, then it's really just a waste of time and money. In this video, we're going over how to target your ideal customers with Facebook and Instagram ads. Hey business owners, I'm Brad Ball, your host of the Grind and Grow Marketing Show. Last week, we talked about Facebook and Instagram ad strategies. And if you missed that, go back and check it out because it does go hand in hand with today's episode. Today's episode, we are going over how to target your ideal audience with Facebook and Instagram ads. Before you can really target your audience, you're really going to need to know who your audience is. Now, we're not getting into the depths of that today, but you can go back to episode 115 or some previous videos that we have that talk about creating your ideal avatar and understanding their pain points and what motivates them. When we think of targeting with Facebook ads, we are really looking at audiences that contain or our ideal customer. We create these audience based off of a few things. 1, demographics. 2 is interest, and 3 are the actions that they take. So let's break these down just a little bit. So demographics, this is obvious things like age, gender, location, occupation, income level, marital status, that kind of stuff. The next one is interest. This is typically what Facebook knows about you, which is a scary amount of things. Things like things you like, pages you follow, or maybe groups that you're involved with. Basically the things that you're interested in. And it does a really good job at knowing these things. And the third thing is actions. So this is based off of the actions that you've taken or that your audience has taken. Things that you've liked, commented, shared, pages that you've created, groups that you're in, websites that you've visited, places that you've gone or visited. So when we create an ad at the ad set level, it's where we tell Facebook who we want to see our ad. And this is where the targeting comes into play. So let's start with some basic targeting. If we're just running an ad and plan to use some demographic and interest targeting, then there is nothing we need to do prior to running the ad, like setting up any custom audiences or anything like that. We can just go right into creating our ad. So when we go in to create that ad, in the ad set level, we're going to select our ideal demographics and our possible interests that we think these people would be interested in, and it's going to show the ad to these people. Now, here are some tips when doing this. Try to separate out your interest into multiple ad sets. No, I'm not saying you can't use more than one interest in one ad set. What I'm saying, you want to avoid having 10 to 20 different interests in one ad set. The reason being is by separating them out, it's going to allow you to better understand which interest is working and which one is not. So that way you're not showing your ad to an interest group that isn't converting. When you are setting your interest, you want to be cautious of the audience size that it is creating. So different interests have different audience sizes. Sometimes it might be 10,000 people or 2,000 people. Sometimes it might be 50 million people. The goal is you don't want it too small and you don't want your audience too big. My recommendation when starting out is to have an audience size of around 1 to 2 million people with a daily budget of $30 to $40 a day. Now you can go a little less, you can go a little more, but the audience size and the daily budget go hand in hand. Now, if your audience is too big, what I recommend doing is narrowing down your audience by clicking on the narrow audience button and then selecting another interest that they might be in. So for example, if you have, let's say we're running an ad for med spas. And now let's say this is not for med spa patients. Let's say we're running an ad to med spa business owners. So if we run an ad with an interest targeted as people that are interested in med spas. That could be customers, that could be med spa owners, that could be med spa technicians, it could be anybody that's interested in med spas. Probably a very huge millions and millions of people, right? Now we can target or limit that down or narrow that down, I should say, by then putting in the narrow audience to be that they have to also have a business Facebook page. So now we're running an ad to people that are interested in med spas and people that have a Facebook business page, because most likely it's a business owner that is the owner of a Facebook business page. So now we're targeting med spa business owners, most likely. All right, now let's step it up a notch with some more advanced targeting. In your account, you can go to Audiences and click on the Create Audience button. This is going to open up a world of options. You can create lookalike audiences or custom audiences. Let's take a look at custom audiences first. Now, there are many options in here. We're just going to cover the top ones that I would recommend you use. So in custom audiences, we have in Facebook audiences and off Facebook audiences. So in Facebook audiences, let's start with videos. So a video audience is where you can create an audience based off of how long someone has viewed your videos. Now, this is a great audience if you have video content and that video content is about your services, and you now create an audience of anyone who has watched over 50% of this video. And it means basically they're raising their hand saying, yes, I am interested in this audio or in your services, right? Because they've at least watched 50% of your video. They must be somewhat interested in what you're about, right? So now you can take this audience and run an ad to anyone in this audience group. Another one I like is the Instagram and Facebook account interactions. So basically with this audience, you can build an audience of people who have interacted with your Facebook or Instagram account in any way, meaning they've liked, they've shared, they've commented, they've viewed, anything, right? Any interaction that they've had with your accounts, you can create an audience group and then now run ads specifically to this group. All right, let's talk about the off Facebook groups or audiences. The first one is websites, so people who have visited your website. Now, this could be to a specific page on your website, or it could be to your whole website in general. You can also create a time duration as well. So maybe it's people that have visited your website in the last 90 days. Now, the next one, and a very powerful one, is the customer list. So Facebook allows you to upload a list of your current customers. Now, you could take that audience and just run an ad directly to them, which I don't actually recommend because they're already your customers, right? So it might be a more cost-effective way to reach your already customers. But what I like to do is use this in conjunction with lookalike audiences. Now, a lookalike audience is basically, it allows you to create an audience of people who have the same attributes and characteristics as a specific group that you specify. So let's say you go to your account, you click on audiences, click on create audience, and then select create lookalike audience. Now it's going to ask you for a source group. Now I recommend using this customer list we just talked about as your source group. And then it's going to ask you the size, like how big of an audience would you like it to create. So I would recommend the default 1 to 2 million people. And then you're going to give this audience a name. Now what it's going to do is it's going to go out and it's going to find 1 to 2 million people that have the same characteristics and attributes as your customers. So now you have this great audience that you can start running ads to. All right, and that wraps us up for creating your ideal customers with Facebook and Instagram ads. If you have any questions, please reach out. We are here to help you, and we'll see you in the next video.